pháp hoa nhiệm màu, and we are waiting the train. Therefore, it's a little noisy. So, kindly, uh, ở đâu không? Sách qua, qua đây ha. Little noisy. So let us try our best to carry on the Zoom talk. Yeah. You listen me well?
Yes, Master, we hear you.
Okay, thank you. What topic today? Can you read?
Yeah, the topic today is hectress, the conflicts, the wars, the possible FAP solutions for peace and happiness.
Yes. You see, we are living in the period. It's very complicated. We can say complicated. So if our mind is not in peace, so it's very hard for us to live, isn't it? Pollution, air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, food pollution, politics pollution, many things. Yeah. And even the people create many hatred and conflict. So we have to make pháp in order to avoid all the trouble. Otherwise, we will be in trouble. Yeah. So now I would like to invite the speaker, Thanh Phạm. Now, please, you first talk.
Yeah. Hello, Master. Hello, everyone. I know we touched on this topic a few times. So, Master just mentioning, about, a lot of distractions, a lot of pollution that, we see daily. He emphasized on, our mind. If our minds are peace, then you control our internal, and then within control our internal, and then that's we can control our environments, which is outside, as well. If inside we're not peace, then then it's difficult for control our daily life. And so the topic we're talking about, hectress, conflicts, the wars. We've seen that every because of the most of the thing, I'm thinking because of the craving, because we all craving for more, and I guess the greed is another of it too, because when we see someone do good, someone better than us, we typically have a hatred towards that's normal. And then conflict, we talk about misunderstandings, and the wars, it's all this kind of related to one another, I think. But the main thing is craving, because we always craving for more, craving for for more than what we have, and that's why we always trying to creating conflicts with others, so we can achieve it. But at the end of the day, that will not bring you peace and happiness. I think we were talking before a lot on the possible solutions. Talk about gratefulness. Masters emphasizing a lot on gratefulness. We practice that. We follow it along with compassion. A lot of compassion. We are interconnected. Gratefulness to each other. We have understanding, and I think that will lead to having a wisdom. With wisdom, we talk about internal peace. Our mind, how is that going to be? So that's more like talking about we meditating, thing that we can do within ourselves, practice with ourselves first. How we gonna perform gratefulness, how we gonna show compassion, how we gonna understand each other's, and lead to a peaceful and happiness. So I think my main thing that I'm currently trying to work on myself as well, how I'm gonna do that, because I know that Master mentioned a lot on it, but like how we're gonna do that to our daily life. So I practice this every day. Have this like a guiding compass for me to follow. Something happened. How we're gonna face this? What action can I do? So being a gratefulness and in compassion, understanding. So that is my guiding compass of trying to start out with myself. How we're gonna practice that? Start out with my family. If my family, for example, my son or my daughter have a conflict, so how gonna solve it? So have this explaining. We are somewhat connected, and then what the problems, and then try to solve it. Then have the understanding of them, trying to resolve it. So trying to so what I'm trying to do is to practice this, trying to start out, where I can contribute, where I can practice, and then hopefully it will trying to do more. So from my family, start out with, and then trying to help with the communities and help out with communities, and hopefully it spread. So that is something I'm trying to practice, and that's the possible pháp, I think, that will lead to peace and happiness. That's all I have to share, Master.
Thanks, Tanfam. I think Guru is probably disconnected from his travel. So I think we can just continue to the next speaker. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. For me, I'll just continue with the program since Guruji is unavailable. I think part of the reason for conflicts in the world is the illusion that we have that there's the materialism, there's the illusion of borders, the illusion of separateness, from one another, like Tanfam alluded to about the oneness. Once we have the illusion of separateness and materialism and the world with borders and separation, naturally, I think it leads to conflict, because then resources are scarce, and we compete to try to compete with one another to people in order to attain resources. And I think if we kind of zoom out and look at the world from a macro level, we see the earth with no borders. When we zoom in and we look at the atoms, and we look at everything that's within innate, that's a construct of this phenomenon, which is all energy, vibration, and consciousness. And so the illusion of matter and separation is what I think continue to cause conflict. And if we know and realize that we're all connected, we're all one, and then the foundation and the backbone of all that is just love and compassion. And if we have love and compassion for one another and know that we're all interconnected, I think that would help bring peace and harmony and collaboration and cooperation with one another, versus the viewpoint of conflict and the idea of needing to conquer someone or conquer a territory in order to achieve a goal. And I think it starts with each one of us radiating love and compassion, loving kindness, in order to first reduce the conflict within ourselves, reduce the conflict and hatred, the anger within ourselves first. And once we're able to achieve that, I think we will naturally radiate love and compassion towards others, which will eventually bring peace and happiness, first of all, to ourselves. Then we can radiate that to others and the world. And I think that's I think is one way to resolve those conflicts. Thanks, Guruji, for allowing me to share a few words. Guruji, I'm going to continue the program. I know you're traveling, so maybe we can invite the next speaker to the program. Maybe to Yung, you have a few moments you can share your thoughts.
Hello, you listen me?
Yes, we can hear you, Guru.
Okay, now I would like to invite His Excellency Ranjit Ray. Yeah. Good afternoon from Nuremberg. Okay, thank you. You listen to me? Oh.
Yes, I can hear.
Now we are on the railway station, so a little noisy. We are waiting the train to be back, but here the line is not good. So His Excellency Ranjit Ray.
Yes,
please.
Thank you, Guruji, and it's really a pleasure to be back on this program and to meet, so many friendly people. So greetings to all of you. I'm in Delhi. It's evening over here, and I listened to the two previous speakers, and it was very insightful, and it also got me started thinking on, what do we mean by conflict? I think, the term conflict has so many dimensions. Normally, when we speak of conflict, we think of the Ukraine-Russia conflict, or we look at what is happening in Israel and Gaza with the Palestinians, or in other ways, and I think the first speaker referred to it as the conflict between man and nature. This whole idea, this whole phenomenon of climate change, of pollution, of rapacious exploitation of the earth's resources. So this is also conflict in a sense. And then if you come, closer to our own lives, then, you talk about conflict within a community, a conflict within a family, and you could even talk about conflict within an individual's mind. Your own mind is torn in so many different directions, and it is not at peace. So why do all these problems arise? Why is there this conflict? And what can we do about it? And, I think Kenneth made a very interesting point that, conflict comes because there is a sense that there is a scarcity of resources. Everybody wants more. Mahatma Gandhi had once said that there is enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed.
Đại sứ đang nói, chắc gì ở ngoài mình cái line ở ngoài tốt không?
And so, there is this great need for more of everything. More land, more pleasures, more resources. And naturally, if there's not enough for all these things to go around for everyone, there will be conflict. So what do you do about this kind of conflict? And I think our ancient teachings have considerable value and considerable contemporary relevance. And, conflict arises because of a fight over resources. Conflict arises because you're fearful of the other. You know people like yourselves. You don't know people who are different from you. So it arises out of the fear of the unknown. So how do you remove this fear? And one of the ways is by creating more awareness, more understanding. I think Guruji's microphone is on, and
Minda, can you mute mic? Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so I think this is, one of the reasons is this fear of the unknown, fear of the other. And I think this is where it's so important to know more about the others. You know about yourself, your community, your culture, your language, your traditions, your customs. But perhaps you don't know enough of people who are different. And so it's so important to create more awareness. And how do you create more awareness? By dialogue, by talking to each other, by understanding each other's concerns, each other's fears, each other's interests. And by this means of dialogue, negotiation, you arrive at a common ground. You arrive at more understanding. You arrive at better mutual trust. And you arrive at a more peaceful world. If you know each other, if you know each other's concerns, why will you fight? You will discuss the concerns you have and resolve them. And I think this is the message of the middle path that we talk about, that you shun extremes and try to forge a common ground, try to find consensus. And I think this is what our global system requires. And this is what we need in our own families. In our families, in our own families, if there are differences, how do you resolve these differences? By talking to each other. In your own mind, if you are conflicted with opposing points of view, how do you achieve peace? By perhaps meditating and examining each of the issues in great detail. So I think this really is the message that our ancients have taught us. And this is the message of tolerance, of respecting the other, of understanding the other, of putting yourself into the shoes of the other person in order to understand the other person's fears and concerns. And this is where the whole concept of compassion, of loving kindness, of respect for the others, even for those who have differing points of view, comes in. And, basically, I think it's about how you can lead a life of balance, not a life of excess, but a life of balance, which requires compromise, which requires consensus, which requires give and take, and which requires at its very core respect for other people. And, you can see this in a family also. If you respect your family members, you can work out issues. And, problems arise from day to day in any family. There would be difficulties, between husband and wife, between parents and children. And you have to work those out basically, by talking to each other, by showing love and compassion and kindness. And I think this is the message. If we apply it in our own lives, we lead happier lives, more contented lives. And, at a macro level, at an aggregate level, if we apply this to the global situations that we find today, we will find that solutions cannot emerge out of fighting, out of killing people. Solutions will only emerge out of dialogue and out of compromise and give and take. So thank you, Guruji, once again for giving me this opportunity. And as always, it's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, Yes Excellency, for your contribution. I think Guruji is again traveling, so I think we'll continue the program. It was a very insightful and very deep words that you shared, I think, for your wisdom and insights. For the next speaker, would anyone would like to contribute a little of their thoughts on this topic?
Kenneth?
About yes.
Hi, this is Brad.
Hey, Brad. Welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
Thank you so very much for having me, guys. And you guys are so wise, Kenneth and Teng Pham and Ranjit Ray. It's very inspiring to listen to you. And after you guys have spoken, there's very little left to say. Like in my own life, what I can say is like from the neck down, I'm just a dog. From the neck down, I'm all about sex and violence. And it's been very helpful for me in my life to be involved in sports. For instance, football, basketball. Those are good ways to have conflict. Jiu-jitsu, judo, boxing. It's excellent to be involved in that kind of stuff and to learn conflict that way. From the neck up, I seem not to be so much dog, but God, a pure awareness. There are so many senses that we have when we are mindful, when we breathe through our senses into the world around us. One of those senses is empathy. I can tell how other people are feeling. And having empathy leads to compassion, just being able to sit with others when they're in suffering or in anger or ignorance, and to be able to offer loving kindness through authentic power. Authentic power is acting with all our nature, taking in all the space around us in a mindful way, just to let go and let God. What happens in my life is that there's this collar around my neck between dog and God. And that's neurosis. It's like a dog that's running around, barking in conflict with everything it sees. I'm afraid of looking bad. I'm afraid of losing my rewards. I'm afraid of being punished. I'm angry with other people who make me look bad, who get in my way when I'm driving and make me slow down. I'm angry with other people who look different from me and make me look stupid. I'm greedy to look better than other people. I'm greedy for good feelings. I want to feel better than I do all the time. And then, I start feeling guilty about what I've done to other people while I'm living in fear or anger or greed. I'm guilty because I'm afraid of being afraid. I'm angry with myself for being angry. And that leads to exhaustion, emotional despair, and confusion. Why should I be living in this circle all the time? Why am I always running around like this dog in conflict with myself and with every human being I see? What has been helpful for me is being in Buddhism and learning extinction of the dog, helping the dog just lay down, understand everything is okay. I look directly at that suffering in myself, look directly at that nightmare, and just accept, lovingly, openly accept that suffering inside. And through empathy, I see that suffering in other people, and I can accept what's going on in them as well, even though they might be raging at me in anger, even though they might be afraid or confused. The right wing in the United States right now, right-wing extremists, seem to me to be living in ego. Their fear of looking bad, their greed to feel better, their greed to have more money, their rage with other people who look different from them. That's all pure ego. Instead of making their ego die, sit down and go away, they are making every illusion in their ego come to life by talking about it, by getting together with their friends and lying about it, and manipulating and leading others also into irrational fear, hatred, and the greed to look better. The most selfish thing I can do is simply to love the world I live in, to love this nature which is here, that I have nothing to do with. I didn't make this thing. to love nature, this one in particular, and all the nature around me. Even when others are in crisis, even when others are in rage, being loving, compassionate, kind, having empathy. This is the only contribution now I can make to world peace. And Tang Thum and Kenneth and Ranji Ray, you guys have already said that so much better than I could. So there you go. There's my itsy bitsy contribution for the day. You guys have a great day. Thank you for being patient.
Thank you, Brad. You know, when you discuss about the animal nature, the dog, you know, I was wondering if you can share, you know, some of the strategies that you've implemented to kind of help, you know, sway away from that animal nature instinct, you know, that dog instinct that we have as, you know, human beings. Do you have any strategies through your practice that you can share?
Well, yeah,
especially
the first thing is just to be a happy dog. Raise your kids to love nature, first of all, and to see that animal nature in us is okay. It's okay to learn judo and to wrestle with your brothers and sisters in a loving and joyous way, and to use that animal energy for good exercise and the joy that good exercise can bring us. Go put your kids on the soccer team, the local football team, basketball. Let them learn how to be in a group of animals working together for the same thing, and a group of animals who are in conflict in a caring, reasonable, and joyous way. And then when that animal nature tries to steal our awareness, when that animal nature tries to steal our awareness so that the animal, you know, is afraid of looking bad, or is angry with the other dogs around it, you know, who have better stuff, that's when we learn to meditate, to put that dog nature to rest, instead of allowing the dog to get frightened, panicky, angry, greedy. No. That's all irrational. That's when we need to go to meditation, to calmness, compassion, empathy. That's when we need to get to our higher nature. And, you know, let the kids be able to shift gears from God to God without getting stuck in neurosis, fear, anger, greed, guilt, despair, and confusion.
Great. Well, thanks so much for that insight, Brad. You know, as Guru continues to travel, I just want to reiterate or share, you know, what His Excellency Ranjit Ray was saying is, you know, part of, you know, resolving conflict is communication and dialogue. And I think with that, you know, from my own experiences, it comes, you know, with deep listening, profound listening, and really empathizing and sympathizing for the other party, the other person. Because when we don't understand the others, we assume different many things, and that's the illusion or the false pretense of the other person, and that definitely, you know, will cause conflict within, you know, a family structure, within an organization, within a company, within, you know, organization, which ultimately lead to conflict around the world. And I think deep listening, deep compassion, deep sympathy, empathy for others, I think is definitely a strategy, an approach that we all can take to understand one another in order to help resolve conflict.
Can I
Anyone
say
else?
Something?
Yes,
No,
of course.
can I say a
Please.
little thing?
Yes, please.
I'm not just, you know, hi everyone, and thank you for letting me, you know, speak a short. I am a simple person. So, you know, in last previous session, Guruji said that, oh, people talk bad about him. But what did he do? He just give a big smile and happy. And he said he still wish those people doing good and doing better. Actually, it's only very simple act from Guruji, but it teach me a lot. Teach me a lot. You know, that's the secret to resolve the conflict. People talk bad about him. He give a big smile and happy and wish them the even better, so they can be a better person. I really learned a lot from that. One single gesture, one single act, but I learned, and I think that's the big secret that we learn. Thank you for letting me express my thinking. Thank you.
Thank you, chị Đức Chung. I think, you know, just piggyback off of that, you know, the Buddha, you know, words was hận thù không diệt được hận thù, chỉ có tình yêu mới diệt được hận thù. That's Vietnamese. In English translation is hatred cannot destroy hatred. Only loving kindness can alleviate hatred. And I think that's what Guruji did, and that's what the Yidukjum was sharing, is that when other people are criticizing Guruji or saying, you know, not nice things about him, he doesn't react with hatred. He doesn't, you know, throw another stone back at the other stone. He just smile, radiate that happiness, that loving kindness energy, and that naturally, you know, lighten that negative hatred energy that the other person imposed on Guruji. And I think that's what Yi Rukjum was sharing, and I think that resonate with you know, wisdom from all the ancient, you know, spiritual leaders of the world, and including Buddha. So I appreciate, you know, you sharing that. If anyone else have any other comments or suggestions for the group? Otherwise, I think, Guruji, I think you're safe travels. I think you're pretty busy. I think you're on the road. So I think it's probably best that we probably conclude the program now, unless anyone has any other comments or suggestions.
Hello, I'm on the train. Difficult trouble with the line. So Minh Đức Đạt and Diệu Đức Chúng, please carry on. His Excellency the Ambassador, he's still on the line. Hello. Yeah, difficult.
I think he left.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Guruji, we had a very good roundtable discussion with a lot of people already. I think it's a good time to break.
Carry on, because I'm on the train. The line is not clear. So carry on, please. Yeah.
I think we have enough roundtable discussion already, Guruji. I think it's not no one else is is participating.
Then,
so I think it's good. We can also end the program today.
Okay, thank you.
And safe travels.
I love Chen. I love the seeing Guruji traveling in the chain ride. Yeah. I love it.
Now I'm on the train. The line is not clear. Yeah. So thank you very much, all participants. I think I change the time for this time. Is okay for next talk?
Yes.
For English, I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Then we keep the this time next week. So thank you very much for joining us, participants. Let us try to develop for loving kindness, understanding. With loving kindness, understanding, then we can solve the problem of conflict and the suffering. So please recommend it the topic. Yeah. For next talk.
Yes.
And then, as you know well, the beginning of the August, we have the peace seminar. So I would like to request all of you try to join us and to help us for a good seminar. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Hoping next week.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
we will
Guruji.
talk again if there's no earthquake. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you.
Guruji.
Hope to see you
Have
soon.
a good day,
Bye
everyone.
bye.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye.
Bye bye. I love